In this video presentation, we will discuss the formation of the continental drift theory by Alfred Wegener. Nowadays, if we hear meteorologist, we immediately thought it is a weather forecaster, just like the person in the news. Meteorologist is a scientist that are studying our weather and atmosphere. Wegener is a meteorologist who's expert of atmosphere and weather of the polar regions, just like in the picture. He is the one who firstly used hot air balloon to study our atmosphere. Wegener entirely orbiting in these places in his whole life. And this is the reason why he had ideas about continental drift theory. Everybody have seen the map of the world. But if you will take a closer look at the shapes of each landmass, you will notice that they seem to fit together like a puzzle. That if you are going to put each continents close to each other, you will actually create a giant landmass. Let's say, for example, the continent for South America may seem to fit together with Africa. This observation actually led to one of the theories that explain each movement known as the continental drift theory. This theory was proposed by Alfred Wegener by hypothesizing in 1912. He laid out his case in his book, The Origin of Continents and Oceans. He proposed a theory that about 200 million years ago, the continents were once a large landmass. However, Wegener could not explain what force was driving the motion of the continents. So, this theory was not accepted by the scientific community until 1965 when the theory of plate tectonics was published. According to Wegener, all continents form a single continent mass. This supercontinent was named Pangaea or Pangaea, which means all Earth. This was surrounded by a mega ocean called Panthalassa, meaning all water. Wegener argued that around 200 million years ago, this supercontinental Pangaea started to break into two smaller supercontinents called Laurasia in the north and Gondwanaland in the south during Jurassic period. These smaller supercontinents broke into the continents, and these continents separated and drifted apart since then. The illustrations shows how the landmasses drifted in the last 250 million years. To support his theory, Wegener cited evidences of continental drifting. First, the continental jigsaw puzzle, the most visible and fascinating evidence that these continents were once one in their shapes. If you will cut out pictures of each continent and bring them close together, you will see that the edges of continents surprisingly matches the edge of another. South America and Africa fit together. Next is the evidence from fossils. Fossils are preserved remains or traces of organisms from the remote past. He investigated the living things, so he discovered fossil records that is supporting his theory, and one of them is Mesosaurus, a freshwater type of reptile that's similar to the modern crocodile with long hind legs and limber tail. Mesosaurus was found in the eastern coast of South America and western coast of Africa. Is it possible that Mesosaurus swim away from South America to Africa? Well, no, because they are freshwater reptile. They cannot survive by a long time in the saltwater ocean, especially if what they are traveling is far. So, the explanation of Wegener, in the past period of time, all Mesosaurus are in together in one place, and after they died or extinct, their fossils are stayed within the land, that is fragmentizing. So now, the fossil of Mesosaurus seen in the Africa and South America. Also, one example of fossil is Glossopteris. So let us look at the map if we can see the glossopteris. So, it is in South America, Africa, India, Australia, and Antarctica. We all know that Antarctica is a cold place and has ice, but we also know that Antarctica has no plants because of the cold weather. So it is impossible that Antarctica have plants, but they levitate fossils of glossopteris. Another evidence is the evidence from mountain belts, or we call it in Tagalog, bulubundukin. In this map, we can see two mountain ranges, the Appalachian Mountain and the Caledonian Mountain ranges. Wegener discovered that they have the same type of mountain and same old, and they also have the same mineral composition of their rocks and soil. So when he tried to connect all the continents, it is coming out that the Appalachian Mountain and Caledonian Mountain are really joined together, further solidifying his theory. Another evidence is the glacial striations. Glaciers can only be found in cold places of the Earth, like the North and South Pole of the Earth. Something interesting about glaciers is that they move, and when they move over the rock beneath, they leave evidences in the form of scratch, called glacial striations. In the present day, tropical rainforests of South America and Africa have glacial striations. This means that these places were not always in their equatorial regions like they are now. They were once down the South Pole, where they have been cold enough to form glaciers. And lastly, evidence is the coal deposits. Coal beds were formed from the compaction and decomposition of swamplands that lived millions of years ago. And Wegener discovered coal in the Antarctica. The current location of Antarctica could not sustain substantial amount of life. If there is substantial quantity of coal in it, it only means that Antarctica must have been positioned in a part of the Earth where it once supported large quantities of life. This leads to the idea that Antarctica once experienced a tropical climate. Thus, it might have been closer before to the equator. This is the end of our lesson. I hope you all understand and can explain what continental drift theory is. Thank you.